And here's our little lunchbox, and it's not particularly heavy. Looks pretty well made. Air, amps, buttons, air plug, and here's the CNC enabled ports. Control signal and arc voltage. So arc voltage will be for the torque height controller. Control signal, I guess, is on off, all those functions. So that's pretty sweet. Torch looks pretty cheap, a little safety switch. I might have to order the machine torch. I don't know how well this sucker will work on the CNC plasma table, but we're gonna find out. Power adapter. There's the kind of plug I was talking about. I don't know if that's like a dryer or oven outlet. What is that? It's not the same 50 amp plug that I installed for my MIG welder. All right, got her all set up, more or less. We're gonna hit some quick cuts on this material and see what it do. So we're set at 60 psi, 25 amps, 110 volts. Got a moisture separator there, no proper air dryer, so let's see what it does. So I tripped my circuit breaker because I only have a 20 amp circuit. But anyways, there's some of the cut. It does pretty decent. It's all herky-jerky because I'm all shaky. So yeah, that's works fine. It'll wire up a bigger circuit and then we'll get back to it. What's in the box? So we have a box in the box and a 120 volt power connector. What's in the box? So it wasn't really clear. You could just kind of guess by the pictures what kind of plug was this. So it looks like people were saying that this is a 30 amp plug, and even though the welder is supposed to be like 55 amps, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, Lotus. But I don't need a 55 amp plasma cutter because I'll be using it on a, well, I say that 3/16 1/4 inch thick material is about the upper limit of what I was wanting to cut. So if something like a 40 amp cutter would have worked just fine for me. So digital plasma cutter, LTP5500D. So this is supposed to be the CNC enabled model, which has low frequency start, so it doesn't interfere with the electronics, and torch height controller, pin out on the back of the welder. So we're going to see what they actually sent me and how close it aligns with what I'm supposed to have gotten. So got a box and a box and a box. Nice little Russian nesting doll here. So here we have the plasma torch, a bunch of manuals. CNC connecting. CNC port is an optional function. It does not come standard with this machine. Well, I ordered it with the option, so it better have the option on it. Warranty registration, LTP5500D owner's manual. So another reason I ordered this machine is because it claimed that it needed 4 CFM at 70 psi. On the manual that I was able to find the PDF of on Lotus's website, and my compressor is 4.1 CFM at 90 psi, and I think most of these recommend like a 30-gallon compressor, and mine's only an 8 because it's the McGraw from Harbor Freight, which is an awesome portable compressor. But CNC, or sorry, not CNC, plasma cutters seem to have a high air requirement, so that's annoying. So yeah, all this looks pretty decent thus far. I don't know what this hose is, so I guess we'll figure out what that is in a minute. Here we have our grounding clamp. Somebody's probably going to say something like, oh, it's not ground, it's positive electrode or something, I don't know. Electricity wizardry, but I'm not going to focus on that. Oh, this is great. So this is really good news. One of the things that the CNC enabled one didn't say whether or not it included was hose clamps. That looks like it's for that hose. We don't know what it is. Oh, some extra consumables. Comes with some little tips and these little things here. But these connector pins for our torch height controller port and our, our other cable. And I think So I ordered a Premier Plasma CNC plasma table with a Chroma torch height controller. 21-day lead time. Who knows when that'll be in. But these plugs here allow me to plug that right into the back of the welder. So that's awesome. Did I say welder? I meant plasma cutter. Looks like a shoulder strap to carry it because it's like a little lunchbox. And it also said that the CNC version came with the 20-foot torch. So this is a pretty long torch, and I'm going to measure this and make sure that it's actually 20 feet. So if it's not, I'm going to be upset because it's a 4x8 plasma table and should need a decent sized torch to go with it. So I've used my buddy's Hypertherm little lunchbox plasma cutter. I think it's like a 40 amp plasma cutter. And I didn't know what to expect from the Lotus because I'd never seen one in person, but this is about the same size machine as the Hypertherm. So let's go through this. And looks like we have, I don't know what that is in the back there, some kind of vent, a little pressure gauge, air cut, 2T, 4T, 120, 240 volt amps, and a digital readout. So that's all fine and dandy, and dual voltage machine, not very big at all. It looks pretty well built. So far, you know, I got an AHP Alpha TIG and a titanium Harbor Freight MIG welder, and I know my Chinese machines, and I know crap Chinese machines and decent Chinese machines. So this so far looks like a decent Chinese machine. All the knobs feel okay. Nothing seems ridiculously cheap to the point that it won't function. This looks like it'll do what I need it to do. So let's set her up and do some test cuts.